preparing and setting it up. And we are now on the YouTube. And now I'm going to start. Okay. 3, 2, and we are back, kids. It is the Bobby of Me Spotlight here on JLJ Media. I am JLJ. I never said that. James Lott Jr. Well, just show you some wearing my Dallas shirt. About Dallas today. 40 years ago, it was Who Shot JR.
Wow.
And it was Kristen. If you didn't remember.
Okay, I feel a little old.
Yeah, no, for us, 40 years ago. That was 40 years ago. I had a shirt with the whole family tree and everything. That's another story. Okay, so anyways, that was 40 years ago. So hello, Dallas. I am here with two of my. They're back. And I was solo last week, but they are both back, and I'm so glad to talk about them with them. To one side of me, Miss Tami Goveia. Hello, Tami.
Hi, everyone.
Resplendent in green because it's the holiday season. And talk about holiday season. She has the whole big shenanigans behind her. We're so happy she's here with us today, Miss Amanda Russ.
Hi, guys.
Miss Amanda.
I'm trying not to fangirl out. I'm trying really hard not to fangirl out.
You can do it, girl. You can do it. We believe in you.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Okay.
Yes, Lawrence is a regular person, just like everybody else. He cleans the toilet and everything, I'm sure.
I do. That is my job. That is my job.
You see who's down there. You know who he is. He plays Carter Walton. It's Mr. Lawrence St. Victor.
Thank y'all. Thanks for having me, man. I love being on your show, dude. I love it.
You've been on, that's your third appearance over the years. So we're saying that you've been on a couple of years. As we were saying about the baby, you were about to have a baby, and now you're back, and he's what, 2?
Oh wow. Yeah, 2 years old. 2 years old.
It was a couple of years ago. Jeez, and then you did my show with Carla. So
yeah, that's what. Yeah, and that's when I think I left the diaper bag in an Uber right before.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I did.
It was. I remember that. You were like, "Oh my!" We were all laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've done stuff with me. You've done stuff with us. So welcome back to the show. And before we get started, I got to do the church announcements before we get started, as we always do. This is JLJ Media, my online network I began this year. So thank you, everybody who has been subscribed to us. Make sure you continue to subscribe. The button's down there somewhere. Might be under Lawrence, might be under Amanda. I don't know where it is. But like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a couple of friends. And this network has 35 shows from Star Wars to soaps and everything in between. So check it out. I'm a Black man doing it, working it out there, trying to give good programming and representation. Now, today is a strange day because we have the soap block that we normally do plus some extras. Why Not Me Spotlight was already on earlier today. Go ahead and check that out on YouTube. It's already out there. Miss Tami Goveia, you did Daytime Today. What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, we talked about, COVID's on everybody's mind, and Ellen has been hit and diagnosed with it. And, just encouraging people to stay safe. Please continue to try to be as safe as you possibly can.
Yes, and so that's out right now already on YouTube, and you can find that on the streaming services already up. After this, the Mandalorian After Show with the Baby Yodas. They'll all be there. And with me and Ryan Nielsen breaking down the penultimate episode of the season, of season 2. It's so much to talk about. That's at 5 p.m. And then at 6, it's a GHB Spotlight with Keisha Lyon and Frank Moran. There's a lot about that show, too. A lot going on that also there. Some things were revealed. Laura is front and center. We love it. And then at 8 p.m., it's 4 men talking about content creation. Myself, Tony Moore, Jack Farmer, and Flobito will be talking about how we do these shows, what it means, what it's like, how hard it is. Amanda knows how hard it is. Tami knows how booking guests, bringing things together. We're going to be honest and real. And that's at 8 p.m. on my Extra Connections Live. So JLG Media is just lit today of all kinds of stuff. That's what we are doing. So I got that out there. Okay, Lawrence, welcome to the show again.
Thanks, man.
You are contract. You
are
contract.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Thank you.
So how long have you been actually on the show, though? I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to remember that.
Oh, wow.
Since 2013.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take 2013 for 500.
Yeah, I started shooting December 2012, and then I first aired in January 2013, and was on contract for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then recurred up into that, up to recently. Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Isn't that crazy? That's 7 years, almost 8 years.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So what is
Yeah.
it?
That goes
So
by
what,
fast.
so when you think about that, is you're an actor, you know, and
Mhm.
actors get just a quick job here and there. How does it feel to have such longevity in a project? Now that you're thinking
It's
about it.
it's weird, man, because it goes by so fast that you don't realize it till you stop and you think about how much time has passed. And I think with Scott Clifton, we just celebrated his 10 years. And it's like 10 years? Jeez, like where did that go? So I'm very, very grateful, very grateful, very fortunate to it feel like it went by so fast. That means you're having fun, right? But yeah, it's crazy, man. Very grateful.
And you've had a million different storylines, I'll say, over the years. Some
Yeah.
groundbreaking ones, silly ones, and
Yeah.
everything in between. I
Yeah.
mean, everything in between. Amanda, so I mean, so what's one of your favorites of Carter? I know you're a fan of Carter.
Uh,
Yeah. I love Carter because he's genuine.
mm,
And when you act, it comes across. Like you're such a good actor. And it's like I've been watching you
thank you.
since Guiding Light, and it just comes across. And I'm like, see, he fits in. Sometimes actors
Huh.
come on and they don't fit in, not to be mean, but
Mm.
they don't. So you got to be like a certain caliber to fit in there. It's true.
And it's so funny, Lawrence. Amanda is like super protective of Carter.
Thank you.
Like right now, she's like, oh no, you need to back off because if you break his heart.
Yes.
Yeah. There's some interesting waters that Carter is in right now. But thank you for the love, man. I mean, I love Carter because he's genuine too. I think that's something that is his superpower and his kryptonite. He sees the good in people and good in everything, but at the same time, he might miss some red flags along the way, as we might be seeing.
I'm like, Carter, no!
Wake up. She's flirting with him. He's right there in front of you. They're flirting.
Yes, so yeah, Amanda's very protective of your characters. Every show, she's like, "Wait a minute, I didn't like that, and don't do that to him." And so, but there's something I want to bring up because to go along with this whole you're back on contract, everything, they gave you a home, they gave you a place to live.
Yeah, man.
And I remember the late Christophe St. John when he was on YNR, when he said when he got in office, that was a big deal. That means they're kind of investing in you and they give you a set. So I mean, you got a home now. You have Rich's old place or whatever. You got a home.
Yeah, I remember Annika, who plays Hope, was like the first one to like let me know because she was on set and she took a video and a picture. She's like, "Have you seen your new house?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Let's FaceTime." And I saw it and I'm like, wow. Because Carter for a while has been the lawyer or the wedding officiant. He's been more of a title than, a person for a little while.
Yeah.
So when you see a home, it's like, oh, this is out of the office. This is not about work-related forester stuff. This has to be more about like what's going on in his personal life. So I loved it. I thought like, okay, great. We're investing into like who he is more than before. And it does mean something when you get a place where you can call home that's yours. It's weird because it's fake, but it actually means something,
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Tami?
Yeah.
So I had a question. I know you've also written for The Bold and Beautiful. How was that experience? Is that something you'd like to continue doing? And how did it inform you as an actor?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do it again. Right now, things are, as you can imagine, crazy because we're adjusting to this pandemic and trying to shoot as fast and as safe as possible. But I learned so much because when you're on set, and I'm sure you guys do this when you're watching too, you imagine like, what is it like to be this character? Or if you were that character, what would you do? And when you write, you get to be all of them. So I got to be Liam, I got to be Bill,
so
I got to
sorry.
be Brooke.
We're so sorry about that.
I was gonna say, don't admit that.
Nobody wants to be Liam right now.
Yeah, he's in the middle of some stuff right now, but it informed a lot of the process. Sometimes when you're acting, you're so focused on what you have to do that day, and when I wrote, I got to see like how hard the writers have to write. We knew it already, but to go through it and see how fast they have to write and take these outlines and interpret the material. Yeah, I just found a newfound respect for them. And yeah, because you get the scripts and it's easy for us to like tear through them. Like, what does this mean? It's just like, no, like there is somebody who worked really, really hard on this and still had like no time to do it. So yeah, just up my respect level. And as far as acting is concerned, I don't change stuff as quickly, maybe now as I did before. And before I might change a couple of things, now I really do sit with it a little bit more. So I guess respect level went up.
Mm.
Trying to respect the written word that someone put their heart into. I mean, I tell them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, writing for a soap. I mean, we're talking like a stage play every day for 9 or plus characters, and remember everything from the episode. You know, and then it's just different writers who get different. I mean, it's like it's.
And they got to check in with each other, and it's a machine. And you know, I'll sit with Brad Bell, and talk to him, and I'm just like, I'm in awe. You know, like nighttime shows where they shoot like 20, 22 episodes. They take off. The writer's room comes back. They figure out the arc for the season, and you know they do it. And I'm like, Brad, like you put out like 300 plus episodes a year, like, and you have to think about long arcs, short arcs, but there's no break. There's no like time for us to go away and come back. And I'm in awe of that level of creativity, where you can have characters hate each other, but they can't hate each other so much they'll never talk to each other again, right? Because then there's no story. But hate each other just enough to continue to butt heads, but it makes sense. I'm in awe of how he puts that together. Really of how all the head writers of all the shows put that together.
Well, you know, we also have the different soap tropes that happen all the time on these shows, but some of them have to happen because, like you're right, there would be no story. I mean, you have to have the two rivals get together at some point and butt head. They have to show. I mean, Ridge and Bill have to butt heads at some point.
They have to.
They
have to, but there has to be enough love and respect there that they won't just not be around each other anymore. You know, because in real life, if you have somebody you hate, you probably just won't talk to them ever again. Avoid them. So creatively, you have to create enough in their world that keeps bringing them together, whether it's Brooke or you know, something that continues to bring these two people together, where in real life they would be miles away from each other. You know, and that takes a lot of creativity to figure out those things naturally.
How's the set feeling these days with, you know, you have a bunch of new brown faces running in there. I mean, you and Kiara Barnes were kind of left over from the above boats, and now you got some new ones, you know, with Paris coming on. So how's that end of line coming? How's that feeling?
It's great, man. I mean, representation period is just great, you know, and to have them come on and still be here, and you know, just thinking about like what, you know, Texas Battle and Aaron Spears and all the people of color who kind of like, I don't want to say started it, because I know Lark Voorhees was on years before. Like there's people that have been here, and then we hit the Avants, which is like, I felt like that was when it was like, wow, we got Oba, we have Anna, we have like all these Rain and Rome Flynn. Like it was like potent level of just Black storyline and diversity. So to still be on the trail of that and still pushing it forward is fantastic. And the fact that these characters are brought on, that it's also, you know, Brad and everyone else's focus to keep this going as well. I'm very fortunate that I'm on a show like that.
Good point. I mean, there have been a history of Black fight. I call them the OGs that were on when they had Marcus and Daisy and all these actresses and actors were on there that played these characters. So I'm glad that they've continued to keep that going in some form. I mean, I appreciate it. And I noticed this time around, everyone's so diverse looking. I like that.
Yeah, we're
hair and everything.
We're different. Like, yeah, we're different Black people. Yeah, right. So yeah,
but that's important too, that we are different.
Well, yeah, very different personalities, very different
personalities. And then you see Delon, who plays Zende, his style, his vibe is completely different than mine, night and day. Same thing with Diamond, who plays Paris and Zoe's style and feel is completely different. And it's important that now that we're getting more diversity, now there's diversity within the diversity, you know? So I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Lawrence, can we talk about Kiara for just a second?
Oh,
because I remember, I mean, James and I, we've had an opportunity to speak with her on the carpet at the daytime Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when, when she first started the show, and, when you've never done a soap before, it's terrifying. And you could see that in her performances. Yeah. And you give actors slack. You like, we get it. Let's see a couple months, 6 months down the road. And holy macaroni, like her growth as an actor has friggin' shot through the roof. And I mean, this happened a while ago. Like she's been solid for like a good year, like really, really. So what's it like being able to bounce off her like that?
Yes.
I mean, she is so genuine and such a thoughtful artist. Because I was watching her work for a while before our paths even crossed on the show. She was doing a lot of stuff with Aiden, who played Xander, and I was over here doing Forrester stuff. So when we started working together, it was very exciting. But the weird thing is when we really started working together is post-pandemic. So we had to really rely on each other to create this relationship. We're on set, we're 8 feet away. Or if it's a close-up, I'm really talking to a mannequin and she's talking to a mannequin. Like we haven't actually ever been close enough for me to put my hand on her cheek. So all the intimacy and stuff that's created, that's just from us vibing from across the room. So I have such a love and deep respect for her because we had to create a romance in the most unromantic circumstance. And the only reason it works is because she's there for it, and she creates a very safe and beautiful environment to create. Now, I love working with Kiara.
Do you want a Zoe doll, just like Hope mannequin?
We'll see how this Zende thing goes first.
Like Annika was killing it with those scenes with that mannequin.
Oh my gosh,
killing
man.
It. So did you watch it? Did you watch her and Matthew and their yes. What'd you think?
Yes, I thought it was brilliant. And I remember talking to her before she was even going to do that and just getting the ideas and the creativity around it and the way Brad and the producers got behind that idea. And I talked to Brad and I was like, this is an awesome story, man. Because on the surface, it's this crazy story. He's in love with the mannequin. That's weird. And since it's so heightened, like everybody else has played the realness of something's going on with Thomas and the vulnerability that Matt was able to bring out of that scenario that should be absurd. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong here. And it gives Hope the opportunity to like, not just forgive, but almost be there for somebody that he should have written off before.
Right.
Well, I think that's what Carter and Hope have in common. They see the good in everyone. And to, circling back to what you said, it can be your kryptonite.
Yeah. And we see that. Yeah. And we've seen Hope kind of step into that from time to time.
Yes.
And then seeing Annika be the man, like there's no acting school that like says this is how you do it. So whatever you see is just birthed out of their creativity. It's like there's no book that says this is how you should be this crazy mannequin. No. So watching what was in her mind just come out, I thought it was fantastic and creepy and weird and fun. Yeah.
Annika, Tami and I told her when we had her on the show like a year ago, and we talked about her when she lost the baby losing Beth scenes and how she just cried every day, like
for like a year. Cried every single day.
And Annika, she's a great find. She's a really good find. I mean, she's an actress. Homegirl,
dude, and like, there's no medium where you test that out to see if you can do it. It's like, unless you're doing a play for a year where you're crying because you lost someone, you figure that you can do it when it comes. And the way she was able to commit to that, and then the constant pain of it, man, bro.
I know. We were all the same. We were like, she's good. I mean, I love Kim and Tula and everything, but but when she came on, they put her through the ringer, like literally put her through the ringer.
And brave, because it's one thing to go there, but to allow yourself to go there for such a long time, it doesn't, acting feels good, but those moments, they feel real. So they don't feel, it's not an amazing time. Afterwards, it's great because you got to tell a story. But in those moments when she's thinking about her loss, that just shows her courage and bravery, where it's like day after day, I'm not going to pull my foot off the gas. And it's going to hurt and it's going to suck. And the audience is going to feel the pain because it's real. And I'm going to commit to it as long as it's on that page. I'm going to commit to it. That's bravery right there. Because a lot of people would have been like, I'm done now. I gave you a month. I'm done. Like, I'm done. No, she's fantastic.
Yeah. I want to ask Amanda, because Amanda and Tami both, because they weren't here last week. What were your thoughts with those scenes? That whole, you saw it, Amanda, right? Finally the whole thing. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I had to binge watch because of everything that happened with my dad.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. I love when they throw you a curveball and you're going, what is happening? What am I mad? Am I upset? What's happening? Yeah, yes. I loved it.
Tami, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I just love, I always, being in the acting world, I can't help but think about what this must feel like for the actor. And for Matt and for everyone to be given such delicious stuff to work with and just go play. And Annika had said this. She said, I didn't know if I could go to these places, let alone go to these places for a year, until I did The Bold and Beautiful. So the show will forever be in my heart as a testament to my growth as an actor. And so, watching Matt's performance and Annika's and Liam's, like,
Scott. Yeah, Scott.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he has to rationalize Liam's behavior and play it honestly and truthfully, which he does so clearly.
He does.
It's brilliant. I mean, that's what I've enjoyed most, like, these last few months, is just seeing these actors be able to just blossom. It's been great.
Yeah, seeing Scott's face when he learns that he conveyed that perfectly, didn't he? Like, it was just like, he was like, oh shit. Like, the business we want to say, basically. It was like, oh my, like, he totally made it. She was like, it was the mannequin. I was like, oh my God.
But when she has to pick the mannequin up from the floor to show him, I was like, I cannot.
The hair was all disheveled and everything. I was laughing so hard. But then I was like, oh my goodness.
In that moment, Liam realized he messed up.
He messed up?
And then, his facial expressions were the greatest. Everyone on here is really good about, like, you can tell they're really putting their heart into what they're doing. And you're watching it, and I'm so into it, I'll forget for a minute that it's fake. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Literally, what is wrong with you? And my husband's like, what happened? And I'm like, Liam. And he's like, oh, freaking Liam again.
We do the same thing. When we read the scripts, we have the same reaction. If we're on set, I think when I first found out, Matt told me that Liam is going to confuse the mannequin with Hope, and he's going to go to Steph. I'm like, what? Why would he do that? I'm like, Liam, come on. We have the same reactions.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, you were part of another, we'll get to your storyline a little later. That's we got a lot of questions and comments on that. But we're gonna get to another one you were part of, because Carter does move around. Carter's always around.
I float around.
You do, and like you said, and it's funny you said earlier, you felt like you were a title more than a person. That's kind of interesting. You are like
for
that.
A little while.
Okay, so you were involved the whole Shauna Ridge thing and Quinn thing too. You were a part. You were a toe in that too. And talk about Ridge is just as annoying as Liam to us. So like, I mean, again, Torsten K's the bomb. But then how was that storyline for you? Because you're like, you kept saying like, wait a minute, though, it didn't sound like Ridge would do that. You kept asking, like, like, I love that. I love that.
Oh man. Well, for me,
and are you sure about that?
Yeah.
kept saying that. I'm like, I don't know.
This doesn't make sense. I mean, like the big thing for me in that story was just Carter's rationality around everything. Carter isn't a person that likes to make a mistake. He doesn't mess up. You know, he doesn't. So the idea that he could have messed up on this, it doesn't make sense why he would get a text from Ridge that night. But it's not the craziest thing either. So
It's Ridge.
Right.
It's Ridge for crying out loud.
It's like that's because fans have hit me up saying, "What kind of lawyer would just file that?" I'm like, "You're not wrong."
Right.
Ridge is his best friend. He's his best friend. They actually already signed the divorce papers already. Yeah. Ridge just said, don't file them yet. So getting a text to say, just do it. And Carter did call and then went to voicemail and Ridge said, just do it. So he just did it. It didn't feel right. And then Quinn was just too happy too. Quinn was just like too overjoyed.
Yeah.
So I think for Carter, it was, and what like really, I guess, made him open his eyes is how fast the wedding was happening with Shauna. It's like, this feels weird. Why is he doing this? So in Carter's way of trying to talk Ridge out of it, but it felt like I was responsible for messing up Ridge and Brooke, and I didn't like that feeling.
No.
It's not your fault.
No, that's not Carter's fault. No, I have to put a foot down. No, because you can't tell Ridge no, right? You want to be
true. You can't tell
like Ridge's wrath. No, thank you. I'll file those there, right?
I'm gonna do whatever you see. Yeah, but yeah, and the feeling of, and I said in my mind, like Carter is a perfectionist type person. You know, someone who went from patent attorney to now he's like the head of legal to now he's COO, Black, in his 30s. That's the kind of person that is like driven to the point of it's interesting. And even when he says to Zoe, like, you know, after the Maya thing, I just focused on work. That's a specific person that is able to just accomplish these things. And whenever there's an opportunity for there to be a mess up or a mistake, that kind of person doesn't handle that too well. So I think he rationalized that. Of course, yeah, he sent me the text. But the more it stopped making sense is what it started eating him up. And which is why, you know, he goes to Ridge and tries to talk him out of marrying Shauna. It's like, I don't know why you got to marry. I don't know why you have to marry her. Like, you can just date her. Like, you don't have to marry her.
Hello.
Carter was being a good friend. Trying to be a good friend.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because because it's like in real life, sometimes you drown yourself from work. And I always feel like you're a surrogate Forrester, basically. I mean, they kind of talk to you that way. Eric and them kind of said that about you. Like, you've been here for so long, been so loyal. You're kind of a surrogate Forrester.
Yeah, and you know, and with Marcus, who is, Eric adopted him, so he's a Forrester by name, and not having, you know, being in California, I know what it's like to be away from your family and to be on Bold and the Beautiful. They become your new family. It's similar to Carter's experience. It's like, this is his family. You know, it's funny that he's like done like 30 weddings.
They always call you up.
They always call me up. I do it for free. It's no big deal.
I do it for free.
Just put it on my tab.
You should be charging those rich people.
He should. But the reason why he does it is because he loves them. And they have him do it because they know it's love. So yeah, he looks at Ridge like a brother. He looks at Eric like a father figure. So to know that he can be involved in anything that can mess this up or hurt them, it's not fair, but he will beat himself up about it. But you know, that's what makes him a good guy, but also kryptonite.
No, so Kenneth Clark has a question before we go on to some other stuff about keep in touch with anybody from Guiding Light, besides obviously Carla, but I mean besides anybody else in there.
Yeah, Ivana, who played Mel, on the guiding light, and my sister. We'll go back and forth. It's been a little bit, but Zach Conroy and I, who played Oliver, yeah, we would go, because he was on Bold when I first got out here. He kind of like gave me the tour, and we would go and get lunch and stuff. And it's been, well, the pandemic kind of messed up a lot of this stuff. Definitely be in touch with him. Kim Brockington, who plays, I still call her mom. Like, she played my mom on Guiding Light. Yeah, and then it's like it's like going to college with people too. So even if you don't see them or talk to them for a while, when you do, when I see M. Rylan, who plays Lizzie, it's like we're just right back.
Yeah.
It's like, with Tom Pelfrey, when I saw the last season of Ozark, I had to shoot him a text and go, "You broke me, man." I don't just sit over here and cry for people, dude.
He's so talented. Oh my God.
I had to tell him, like, yeah, that you already know and you already have been, but you're fantastic. So yeah.
It should be a bigger story.
Oh, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
He's pretty amazing. And so is there anybody from the past on Bold Beautiful you talk to?
Oh, the past. I feel like we're all kind of around. I'm in Texas. Oh, me and Texas will text each other every now and then. Aaron and I don't know if Aaron's Justin's still on, so that's not the past. But we'll text each other.
Well, I love Aaron D. Spears. We love Aaron.
Yeah. Lindsay and I, we'll shoot each other messages every now and then. Yeah. But for the most part, I feel like everyone else is kind of comes in and out for the most part. That I've at least had storyline with and been around. But yeah.
That's a question. And here's a question. This is going to lead into our next segment of talking about it's like someone wants to know, okay, Rodelli wants to know, how did Lawrence feel kissing the Zoe mannequin?
Man, that was the craziest day I've ever had on set.
At first I was like, can you get a mannequin a good weave, please? A good wig? Because I'm like,
everybody's hair is absolutely horrific.
I know. I'm like, hello.
Man, they're not gonna drop a G on a mannequin wig. That's not happening. But okay, so Cynthia Pop, who was our director for that day, she was putting it in my head like, when Torsten did it, like he really went for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so I gotta go for it now. So we're on set and she's kind of directing me through it, and it's like, you just gotta do it, man. You gotta look that mannequin in the eyes. And then kiss it for real. It was so much fun. It was funny. We were all laughing. And then Kiara had to do it too, even though they didn't use the shot. It was hilarious because I knew you can't use this shot because the mannequin's not even, it doesn't look like me. But I love that she had to do it anyway, just because.
So it had to be kind of choreographed in a way, kind of like just like you have to like.
Yeah,
sure.
Got to make sure you turn it a certain way, and while you pull it in, you're giving it the movement, so it looks like. Honestly, if we didn't come out and say we were using mannequins, I wonder if people would have caught it. I don't know. I don't know if anyone would have caught it.
Amanda's like, oh no, I'm like,
I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I would have caught it.
Your wife,
but it was
gonna
funny.
Fill in, right? Your
wife. She has, yeah. She was supposed to fill in that day. She was supposed to that day, but there was a scheduling conflict and she wasn't able to come in. So then came
that's fun though, huh?
The
with
mannequin.
Your wife there?
It's fun. You know what? At first, it was hard because it's not even for before the kiss. My wife is going to be the over the shoulder for part of the scene. So Kiara's off screen saying the lines. My wife is in front of me just going to make it look like there's movement. And I'm like, this is weird. It's like a puppet. I said, I I just had to focus on her eyes. I couldn't look at the mouth. Once I looked at the eyes, I was like, cool. But at first it was like, all right, can we bring the mannequin back? It was easier to, but it was cool. And then the kiss stuff, you know, it's always great to kiss your wife at work. So that was
Paid for it. Get paid for
and
it.
get paid for it. Yes.
Okay. So it's very interesting because that's, I mean, we all make jokes about it, we all laugh about it, but I know there's some technical stuff in there. We know the reason behind it too. And everybody out there knows there's a reason behind this. It's a safety issue. And they wanted to show some kind of realism a little bit because it's tough to have a love scene or a love moment and you're way over here and you're way over here. It just looks
Dude.
weird.
And it's hard. It's hard to play that and build that chemistry. So even though the mannequins are kind of a placeholder and you know they're mannequins, it at least allows the other actor to kind of give you that pillow talk, to kind of give you that, oh, they are face to face. He can kind of give you the bedroom eyes or quieter, closer feel, because without that, we're across the room from each other.
Like,
and it's hard.
I love you. I love you.
Yeah, you know.
That's right. So this leads us into the story that everybody in chat was talking about already. People like you and Zoe together. Clearly, they like it. They know the other side of Zoe. What's going on with her? So everybody's protecting. That's right. Go on, Amanda. There's someone who like they're together. But Zoe, the problem is Zoe has this whole thing with Zende, of course. There's that going on. So I just want to say for you first, what are your thoughts on people say, why is Carter going so fast? Why is Carter going so, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, like I said, when we read the scripts, we have the same responses, right? So I'm like, proposal? Well, okay. But for Carter, I think, and there was a line or two in one of the episodes because that alluded to the pandemic. But basically he said, life is too short. When you find something that makes you happy, you don't wait. And I think for Carter, when something makes sense, when something's right, when you're in love, you're waiting a year for what? You don't know what can happen. You know, anyone can get sick, anyone can pass away or whatever in between. And it's like, why would I wait if I know what I want? I think so for him, it's like, and then knowing the stuff that happened with Thomas and Xander, for him, it's like, well, I'm gonna show you that I'm real. I'm gonna show you that I love you. I'm not playing games. I'm not doing the sort of romantic will he, won't he crap. It's like, I'm straight up. This is who I am. This is how I feel. I can pretend I don't want to marry you. I can pretend I don't want you to live with me. But for what? For who? And then he trusts that Zoe is, you know, a grown woman, that if she says no, she'll say no if she wants to say no. But she said yes. So for Carter, I think, what's fast? If it feels right, do it.
Okay. You know? Well, Amanda, I'm gonna let you ask a couple of questions. This is your man. Say, what are your comments, Amanda? What questions do you have for him?
Okay. Carter is too sweet. Okay. And he's I'm going to show her how a woman should be treated. And you're like, oh, you know, like, great. And then as soon as he walks out the door's not even shut. She's like, Zende, you want me to model for you? Putting on music. I'm like, what is that? What is happening? I'm like, what is happening? She's going to break his heart. And I'm very mad about it.
I plead the fifth.
I love it.
She can date all the men. Like, I have no problem with a woman dating more than one man. I have a problem with her not telling Carter, oh, by the way, I'm also into him. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's where I have a problem.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Because, you know, we talk about this all the time and we come up with our own stories of what can be happening behind the scenes, things that you guys don't see. And I think for Carter, it's interesting to you have a guy who was engaged and she jeopardized their relationship to be with Rick Forrester.
Yep.
And before that, I would have like, when he first became a wedding officiant, Stephanie and Liam would ask him like, "Oh man, you do these weddings?" Say, "Yeah. Do you want to get married?" Carter's reaction to getting married was like, "Absolutely not. That's not for me. I never want to get married." And then we had scenes, and then it wasn't until he proposed to Maya where he was like, "I just haven't found the right one yet." She breaks his heart.
Of course.
Then we have the big storyline where we find out, you know, she's transgender, which means that Carter's like, "You didn't even love me enough to tell me your truth," his perception, his perspective. So for him, I think there is a level of, I'm sweet, but I'm holding on tight because I've been unlucky in this. And maybe if I hold on tight, if I'm sweet, if I show you that I'm not like your dad or Thomas, that you'll love me back. I think that's a part of it that's there. And I know that when you see it, it can come off like, "Man, why is this guy so thirsty?" He's thirsty, but he's a little. There's a level of wanting to be loved there. I get to like string the dots all along, but you know, and I think you'll see more of it. I won't say anything. You'll see more of it a little bit, but yeah, I think that's why he's so sweet. He knows what it's like to lose something, and he doesn't want to lose it. And which is also why he may not see what should be right in front of him. You know, he's put Zoe in this place in his heart and in his mind that he can't see the stuff with Zenda. He just sees two friends. And the rest of the world, you guys see it. You're like, how can he not see this?
Yeah,
but for him,
that makes sense.
He doesn't see it, you know.
It's like that in real life, you will get in a situation and you don't see clearly what's going on until you're out of it.
Yeah.
And then you go, "Oh, wow. How did I not see that?"
And maybe if it was Thomas, who was now the designer and he was working with Zoe, Carter might be a little bit like, but Zende's his friend. You know, he married him and Nicole. Like in his mind, he would never think Zende would do that. You know, so for him, it's like, it's not even a thing. It's like your best friend and your girlfriend. "Oh, I saw her at the mall." You're not going to think they got it in the bathroom. Right?
True.
So that's
true. True. It's true.
That's his mindset.
We know stuff, but you don't know. But
you guys know more than we do.
Exactly. Everyone in the chat room is like Amanda. They're all in Amanda Russ right now. They're all like, "Amanda, we're with you, Amanda." They're feeling you, Amanda. They're like, they get it. They love that. Rasana James says, "Yes, Zoe gave you a reluctant yes," as he puts it. But no, I mean, but everything you're saying makes sense. Like Carter, it's harder. He's not looking for trouble. He's not looking for trouble. He's thinking, He's looking for trouble. He's thinking, okay, we're along. And that's, man, we don't have the female intuition. We don't have it.
We don't.
You were smarter than us.
And even the comment just now on Zoe gave a reluctant yes. It's like, as the audience, you're able to see more into these characters' minds than the characters do while they're in front of them. So while you guys get the close up and you see the reluctant yes, Carter on his knee just hears yes. He doesn't see that part, that wheel turning in her head. That's not what's in front of him. He just sees the tears rolling out of her eyes and she says yes, and yes. But you guys know, man, there's more to it. Yeah, right?
No. Yeah, like,
but he doesn't.
Like 5 minutes ago, she's going, "Zende, should I marry him or not? Should I marry him or not? What is wrong with you?" That's what I want to say. How about not? Okay.
I love it. Oh my God. Tami, what question you have for about this storyline or anything? Any comments or questions?
So next time the fire alarms go off in your place, just let the fire people deal with it. You don't need to be letting out. If you open up the door and there's no smoke in the hallway, don't leave.
You're not. That's that hero good guy quality that can always, bite you in the butt. You leave your own proposal to make sure everyone else is okay.
To your point, the hero quality, I think that's what is so attractive to Carter about Zoe, because he sees the extraordinary amount of pain that she's been through and betrayal. with Thomas and her father. And I think it's that hero in Carter that just wants to prove that love is real.
Wow,
Love
yeah.
is real. Love is real. Trust me. And that
good
to
guy
Amanda is like, no, this is girl to do this with. So
I agree with you, Tami. I think the thing is also Carter represents the future she could have. Like this is right here. A good man, she has a good job, a good life. She mentioned her father and Xander and Thomas and all this stuff just was all the men in her life just messed her up. We know nothing about her mother. But it's just completely, she's like, Carter resents the brass ring. I mean, it's like this is I could have this. She always had messed up decisions. Like here, this guy wants to be with her and for her. Yet this thing over here is shiny and bright. And that's Zende. And there's something there too. Yeah, it's like, that's right, man. Look over there, man. It's over there. It's shiny and bright. It's a Zende over there. So it's like she's kind of torn. I mean, I can almost see that where you're kind of like, this guy is giving me everything I want.
I think it's scary, right? When you get a guy like Carter who is on paper pretty perfect on paper, you have to allow yourself to deserve it. Like if you feel like you don't deserve this, and you know and I'm not speaking to like this is not. I don't know if this is Kiara's work or not, but just what I read on the script and see on the screen and hear what Zoe has said, you know, like Carter would say, you know, I can stare at you all day, and she'll say, oh, don't do that. You might get bored. It's like, there's something about her that's like, I don't know if I deserve whatever you represent. So if you don't feel like you deserve it, you might sabotage it, or you might go after something else or whatever. I think Carter is like, if you are ready for marriage, kids, your life wrapped up in a bow, this is where you go. But if a part of you is not ready for that, you can't even dance in that water, because that water is like, it's a one-way street this way, and that's it. So I wonder, as a fan watching, this is just me speculating with you guys, what it is that Zoe's afraid of. Is it Carter letting her down, or is it deeper than that? I don't know.
So listen, honestly, if Zende had the cojones to tell her how he felt and how he feels, sorry, Carter. I honestly think she would have the life for some reason that Zende can give her. I think that's but he never said anything, and Carter's the one that stepped up.
That's what's so interesting about the story, is the one she sort of wants can put it all on the line, and the one that she can't pull away from Zende, but he cannot put it all on the line like Carter can. Carter, no one who proposed do what Carter did. If you're gonna propose to someone, no, they're gonna say yes. Like, that's not a moment in life where it should be like maybe. No, in real life, know the answer. But for him, he'll do it. He'll go and buy the biggest diamond ring and shoot his shot. And Zende won't, or hasn't yet.
No.
So I think that's interesting with these two characters.
And Zende, like, I don't see Carter ever breaking her heart. Even if Zende said, I do feel this way about you, I don't know if Zende wouldn't hurt her. Like, and I think that's what Zoe's thinking. Like, Carter's for real. I can trust this man. I should marry him. Like, I'd be insane to say no right now. Rationalizations, it's all these rationalizations.
I think so too.
But then there's a but there, right? That's that but.
Butt changes everything.
And they sang a song for Zende.
Yeah.
The butt changes everything.
The butt changes everything.
Comma. No, it changes everything. No commas.
No commas.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's just be real. Okay, you want to be real? Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Be real, girl. That's like, be real.
She wants a forester. She wants to be a forester, and Carter's not a forester. I'm sorry. She goes, oh, because she's like, oh, Carter. And then he's like, oh, I'm a Forester. And she's like, oh, he's a Forester. Bye.
Well, people in chat room kind of agree with Amanda. They kind of agree with that. And one person in chat room says, if Carter's heart gets broken, we fighting. That's what.
Oh man, let's go.
Yeah, they're
It's gonna be double broke because he's gonna be heartbroken over his friend lying to him this whole time.
But
Don't
then
even get me. You know I'll get worked up.
Yes, man.
I
We
feel
know.
you.
Now, here's
I
the
feel
thing.
you.
There is Paris. So,
Mhm.
so what could happen? I mean, what could happen there?
And you have more
Right.
in common. Carter has
Yeah.
more in common with Paris.
They seem
Yes.
more. Their personalities are similar. It seems.
I can't say a word. Y'all
I
now.
know. I still remember when you said years ago, you and Katie. I'm down for that too. A lot of folks are like,
Yeah,
why not?
we've
I
been
think-
campaigning for that.
Yeah,
There's a similar journey that those two characters have in dealing with some of this stuff. Even like with what Carter's going through now, it's not too different than like Bill and Katie and then Brooke walks by, right? It's like why would Bill ever leave? Katie is solid, she's loving, that's the kind of person you hope to find.
Right.
No
Yeah,
pun
Bill.
intended.
I see what you did there.
Well, all puns intended. All
Puns intended. But yeah, with Zoe, I mean, it's an interesting. I think it's really complicated, and I think that the writers and Kiara really found like this complexity because it could have really came off superficial. I just want status, but even the way she accepted Carter's proposal, it's like, I'm not exactly sure what you want. Like I there's a part of these two worlds that you want both. It's like he's not just a safety net and he's not just a brass ring. Zende and Carter represent two things that you want, or else, because with her yes, it was so heartfelt to me watching it that I'm like, well, you meant in that moment you meant that.
Can't argue
So so it's very
Oh, yeah.
complicated for Zoe,
You're right.
which is that means Kiara's killing it, which is great.
No, she is. She is. I mean, no,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think also a lot of fans keep bringing up, we still know what happened to Nicole and Zende. I mean, that's
Yeah.
out there still too.
It is.
Nicole is still out there in the ether. We don't know what happened. And we
She's
saw
still somewhere.
Mr. Yvonne came back and talked to Zende. So I mean,
Yeah.
so the Yvonnes are still kind of out there. They're still
in the
there.
world. And
yeah,
like the Zende that we knew before that was played by Rome Flynn, like something happened, and I don't even know what happened, to tell you the truth, but something happened with him and Nicole. And this, because I don't see the Zende before doing this to Carter. Something happened in the middle that did something that is enabling Zende now to be okay with sending a text message saying, don't get with Carter tonight, come see me. What, bruh?
Thank you.
You broke rules, bro.
Like, what? I was like, excuse me, what are you
For real?
doing?
He broke the rule. I love
I
it.
don't know what happened between him and Nicole, but he's acting real different right now. So yeah,
there's something.
I think it's so interesting.
That's out there. I agree with you. That's out there. Well, I wish we'd keep you forever on the show. We just can't. We can't be here forever. It's already been an hour, so we're so glad.
Has it been? Jeez.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead, Amanda. You do a girl.
Do you ever forget a line or forget exactly how it was worded and just kind of ad lib?
More times than I probably should. Or sometimes you're in a scene, and this will happen with Torsten a lot, and it's just like, we're just vibing, we're vibing, and the ad libs just come just because we're outside of the story. We're all trying to create this relationship between these two friends as well. Same thing with Kiara, and we'll just try to find a joke or a thing or playful whatever, just to so we just humanize these relationships as much as we can. And then sometimes you forget something, but the speed of a soap is like, let's go, let's go. So in the moment, you forget the exact words to say, but you know what to say.
Right.
So you just, it's all walking on a tightrope juggling. That's the feel of being on a soap.
It's always so natural, like it always, they make it look, you and everyone make it look so effortless. And I know that's not an easy job.
We have amazing people, our directors, our producers. I mean, the way our sound people's working, we have a lot of people working to make it look effortless. But when we're there that day, we are like, we're fighting the good fight, and it's a wonderful fight in trying to make this stuff feel real and effortless. But it does because there's so many people working hard.
Right. Tami, one last thing you wanted to say to Mr. St. Victor.
I'm just so thankful that they're giving you solid stuff to do. We for years, James and I have been going back and forth, like, come on. The writers, they need to step up. The show needs to step up for several of the actors. And they finally stepped up for you. And so.
Oh, thank you guys.
Lawrence, we're fans of yours. You know that. We're fans of yours.
Yeah.
Period. So, I mean, it's like, I'm so glad that they decided to give you a little more.
Thank you guys. I mean, it means a lot. It means a lot. And we have there's some fun stuff coming up that I can't talk about, but
yay!
End of the year, beginning of the year is going to be really, really fun.
And I hope one day, because Casey promised me a walk-on role one day, so I hope to be on.
Come on, man.
All right.
So he told me, he goes, when we did the show, he goes, James, I'm gonna write you a little role on there. I said, please, come on, I'll do it. I'm gonna be down in Thomas. Come on the set. I know a lot of you guys on there, so like I'd love to work with any.
Do you know like who you would want to be and who do you want to like where would you want to be in this world? You want to be a Forrester, Spencer? You want to be who do you want to be?
He wants to be a part of the fashion show.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
You want to be on the runway, or you want to be like this designer that comes from like Monte Carlo?
Ooh, I kind of like to use my deep voice and just talk like this.
Yes.
I mean, I don't. I think that's actually a really good question. I don't, because he asked me. Well, I have the biggest crush on Denise Richards, so I was like, if I could be in the scene with Shauna somehow, I'd be happy.
You could be like her friend from Vegas.
I could be, but then I want to make sure I see other people too. I don't want to just be with her. I want to make sure I see somebody else. So I was just who can I run into? I run into. I mean, I know Captain Kelly. I know some people I know on there. I'm like, who do I want to be around? I don't know.
I know you could be Brooke's assistant, and she could have you going to run errands, and you interact with different. Yeah.
You know who you could be that will almost guarantee you'll work with everybody? A wedding officiant. You will be on set with everybody.
I'm a minister. I can do it.
I mean, you'd be taking my job.
I could do it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know. You give one wedding to me. Give me one wedding, Lawrence.
I'll give you one wedding. I'm COO now. I got stuff to do. You can do the wedding.
That's a good idea. So, Lawrence, you go back there, write it for me. Get an upcoming wedding. Say, I know James Lott Jr. is ready to do it, and just
he's ready to do it.
Casey and them know me already. So, yes.
And you'll be on set. You'll be working with everybody. That's like one swoop.
You can marry Carter and Zoe. There you go.
Ooh, that would be actually that would be fun.
I don't know what's coming up.
I can't think.
I don't care if it's a failed marriage. At least, I mean, Carter's done a bunch of those too.
Hey, wait. Yeah. You're right about that.
There are a few of those that didn't go all the way through the things happened midway. I mean, there's some that didn't work out. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I have two that's going strong right now.
You do?
No. Three, right?
You have three right now. It's going strong.
Because I have Liam and Hope.
Yes.
They're still married.
Queen and Erica's still married.
Yes, and I got Brooke and Ridge.
And Ridge.
Yeah.
And Eric Quinn.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, you're good.
That's
you're
not
good
bad. So far.
Pretty
I had like 15 of them didn't work out. But don't blame the officiant.
He's like, it's not your fault. Someone said I could be Bill's publicist. That's what I said. I get to work with my
that's a
friend Aaron
tough-
D. Spears. I love Aaron. I get to work with him. Maybe that'd be kind of funny.
I'm kind of partial to Forrester though. That's
Me too.
Spencerland.
I know,
That's
me too.
Spencerland.
Me too.
Yeah, let's go to
I see
Forrester. Let's go to
Forrester. Yeah.
That's the dark side.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Let's go to
That's the
Forrester.
dark side. You know what you can be? You can be like an international fashion journalist who comes to LA, who goes to Genoa City as well. You can like just hit up the different shows. You can be the bridge.
I know folks over there too. I'm friends with Eric Braden and all them. I know them over there.
Your character
I've
can
been
be
to
the
the set.
one that
I know what's
just
going on over there.
go back and forth.
The crossover king.
Casey.
Yeah.
You'll be the crossover king.
Yep.
Then you'll show up on General Hospital, be like, how did this even happen? This is not even one of our you just
I know really. I know them too. I know them over there too. I know them over there also. So I'm like,
It's like Hitchcock. Like James will show up in Salem Square.
yes.
Yes.
You know, it's like doing a cross.
The one character that's able to go through to all the shows that aren't even connected.
That is hilarious.
There's only 4, so you should
Only
be able
4.
to do this. So.
Yeah.
Only 4. I know folks in all of them, so there's only 4 of them. So
Let's make this happen.
I love it. It's 2021. Thank you, Lauren St. Richard, for being on the show. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Tell folks where they can find you on the social medias.
Man, on Instagram, I'm L Saint Vic, and on Twitter, I'm L Saint Victor. I haven't gotten into like TikTok and stuff yet. I don't know how all that works yet. I'm
Ryan, it's crazy. I'm off there.
No,
It's crazy. I'm like a star out there. It's really weird. I don't even do the dances or anything, but I'm like, I got like 3 million views on it. It's really crazy. I don't know what.
Yo,
I know.
All right.
I'm an old man on TikTok. And people are like, they like me.
I'm like trying to figure out how it works. I'm like,
there's that too. I know. I know that too. Amanda Russ, thanks for coming back on the show today. Tell folks where they can actually find you in your podcast.
You can find me at the Bold and Beautiful podcast. And thanks to everybody for all the love. It was sudden. My dad got sick. He was quarantined. And then day 13, he passed. So please be careful. Wear your mask. Be extra careful.
Yeah, we love you, Amanda. So we're glad.
Thanks for being on the show.
She came on for you.
Yeah.
She came on for you.
I didn't know about your father. I'm really sorry to hear that, Amanda.
Thank you.
But she came back. She came back to see you. So this is.
Oh,
I had
man.
to come back.
I had to come back. So that was good. So thank you, Amanda. We appreciate it. Tami Goveia, where I can find you?
On Insta, you can find me at Tami.Goveia and Twitter at Tami Goveia.
And of course, you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms and TikTok. I am on there.
TikTok.
And JLJ Media, of course, is my company here. So please like, subscribe, follow. Anybody listening to this, like, subscribe, follow wherever you find it. We love you very much. Everyone have a safe time. Thank you so much for joining us.